Hello, and welcome to Muse Talks. I'm Mabruk,
And I'm Giselle Fernandez.
and today we'll be looking at some fire hot takes sent in by our staff. First, we got the topic of forgiving and forgetting and not forgetting. Then, we have the idea of talking stages in high school relationships. And finally, we'll finish off with the concept of marriage being overrated or not. So, where do you think we should start?
Let's start off with forgiving and forgetting versus forgiving and not forgetting.
And what do you think is the correct side on that one?
I think that it's difficult because when you have like a shared relationship with someone, like friendship or whatever, like it's so difficult to not forget. But I feel like if you don't fully forget sometimes, you aren't forgiving in a way because it's always lingering in your mind. Because a lot of people say like, oh yeah, it's important to forgive people, but don't forget what they did to you. But that kind of, to me, like, if I always have something, like, I'm holding something over someone's head that they did, I didn't truly forgive them. What do you think, Mabruk?
Well, I'm kind of on the opposite side with that. I believe that forgiving and forgetting are two very separate things. I think forgiving is something you can do without forgetting what the other person did to you. Because if you forget what they really did to you, did that thing really have an impact on you? Because I think the way we live our lives, everything we come in contact with has an impact on us. And if we simply just forget about maybe a wrong thing someone did to us, it kind of shows that that thing never really mattered. To forget means that you kind of not think about it again. For me, I'm always thinking about the past. I'm thinking about things that have happened to me throughout my 17 years on this earth. So for me, it's just like, I feel like I'm not developing as a person if I'm forgetting what's happening to me and letting people slide.
But does that mean that, like, in a way, you're kind of holding a grudge?
I wouldn't say I'm holding a grudge. No, I'm just saying I'm being aware of like things that have hurt me and things that are sensitive to me, right? Because if I just let it pass and don't think about it again and forget about it, quote unquote, then I feel like it's just not helpful for that situation to ever have happened.
Right.
Because I think even when you're in bad situations, you always take something away from it. And for me, if you forgive and still not forget what that person did, you are like in the middle of learning who you are and learning who that other person is, rather than just like moving on like nothing happened.
Right. I feel like specifically for this topic, it's difficult because it'll like affect how you act with that person if you don't forgive and forget. Because for me, I mean, I've experienced both. I think I've done both. Because there are certain things that I've learned, like you pick up things from people like, oh, this is not the type of person that I should tell my secrets to. This isn't someone that I can count on in like short notice. You kind of learn. But for other things, it's like, let's say someone like fails you on something or like they make a mistake. I think it depends on the severity of what they do and how much it impacts your relationship with them. Because I think to me, it's like, tiny mistakes can be forgiven and forgotten because if it doesn't impact us in such a severe level, then why even think about it constantly and like hold that like, oh, you still did this. So I think that if it truly affects your relationship with a specific person, then that's right to like not forget. I think it's still valid to forgive, but to kind of change certain things with how you are with a person. Like, I know I can't count on you for this type of stuff. I'm going to forgive you and we're still friends or we're still dating or whatever the case is. But I know now, like acting on into the future, I'm not going to do something depending on whatever it is that you did to me.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Okay, I think we agree on that.
Yeah. So all right, next, from forgiving and forgetting, we're going to move into the highly contentious topic of the famed talking stages.
Oh yeah, let's get
Giselle,
into this.
what do you think of talking stages?
I hate talking stages. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that under the right circumstances, talking stages can be good and, you know, beneficial because people do need to get to know each other before they start dating. But I think that there's a huge problem in our generation and at least like now and just in general in this time that we all have such a big problem with commitment and like talking stages and situationships in general will last months, genuinely months. And I think that's crazy. If it's kind of like, I don't know, because if it's just getting to know each other, I think people should take their time. But if it's like you're acting like you're in a relationship, you're doing things as if you are officially dating, but you aren't able to put a label on it, I think that that's just avoiding the whole commitment thing, because it's like you're so out in like limbo. You don't know where you stand. And I think that's just it's such a horrible thing to experience and just to live through, because it's so much like you just don't know. There's so much unknown with it, and there's no set boundaries, because when you're dating, like that is your person, that's the person you're with. I mean, unless you're cheating, but in general, like a relationship is supposed to be just two people, and that's that. But with a talking stage, there's so much of, are we talking to other people? Are we not? Are we exclusive? How long are we going to be talking? Like it's so much, I don't know.
It's messy.
It's messy. It's so messy. I think that it's just, if anything, it's just best to say, like, we're getting to know each other. Because when you put, oh, it's a situationship, what's the situation? Why is it a situation? Like, you're dating or you're not. You guys want to be with each other or you don't.
So would you go as far to say talking stages should not exist?
I guess. I mean, I suppose, yeah. I don't think they should. I don't think that, I hate that label. I think that talking stages are just that lack of commitment and that lack of knowing what you want.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I think talking stages are the way to evaluate if that person's really right for you. I feel like if you rush through a talking stage because you just want to start dating, that relationship's never going to go anywhere, respectfully. Because I think what they do is that they put you in situations that you would have already been if you were dating, while not having like the consequences that dating has, right? Because if you make a mistake in a talking stage, like, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
But if you make a really bad mistake in a relationship, it's the end of the relationship. So for me, I think talking stages are a great way to like try with a person while not, feeling the same consequences. And especially at a time like this where we're still forming and we're still getting used to like who we are and developing as people, I think it's good that we allow ourselves to make these type of mistakes early on while not being stuck with that box of dating.
I will say that I do agree that we are in a stage where we're getting used to ourselves, like growing into our own identity and finding out who we really are. But I think that with the talking stages, to me, I think the big issue lies in just when you're too comfortable being in the talking stage. Because that's just the issue. I know. It's like, I don't know. I think that I'm actually going to say, I'm going to jump off of something that you said a little earlier. Because you said that with talking stages, you can make a big mistake and it's okay. But with relationships, if you make a big mistake, it's over. I actually think it's the opposite. I'm going to explain. Because for talking stages, you guys are just getting to know each other. There's nothing holding you down to that person. So like if you see something that you don't like, even a small mistake can take out a talking stage. But with a relationship, when you're actually with a person, and even if they make a mistake, you'll still try to work things out with them because you're dating. Like and that's kind of what a relationship is supposed to be. It's, it's all those trials and tribulations. It's all those things that are happening that, are putting the relationship to the test. So I think in that aspect, I think you're wrong, Mabruk.
Hey, I'm okay with saying that I may not be right. No, I think there's definitely, this issue is not black and white. Like, I think there's definitely a little gray space in there. Speaking of talking stages, you know where they might lead to, right?
Where?
Marriage.
Ooh.
So, Giselle, marriage, especially in this generation, has been a great topic of discussion, particularly because of the legal impacts, the economic impacts. Do you think the concept of marriage right now is outdated?
I honestly think that the concept of marriage is not outdated.
And why is that?
My opinion is that while it's not completely necessary, I don't think that everyone needs to get married. I don't think that it's like totally like needed. I still think that marriage is, pretty important. It shouldn't be like, oh, you shouldn't just bash on marriage just because we're like more in the future and whatever. And like, I don't know. I think that marriage is still a great thing, and if it's the right person and it's the right time, marriage is like a vow to another person that they're going to be with each other, hopefully, for forever. And I don't know. What do you think about this? I'll bounce off of what you say.
For me, marriage is outdated.
Okay.
Coming from the background that I come from, immigrant household, 3 other siblings, seeing my friends, like my Bengali friends and their parents, I feel like marriage has become a thing where it's more about the wedding than it is the actual marriage. I think people just want to have one night of where they feel like they're really loved and they're really appreciated, and they're going to find someone forever. And then, as we know, half of marriages end up in divorce.
That's so true. But that kind of, I think that brings the question of, having a wedding, like, overrated?
Yes, but that's not the topic we're talking about right now.
No, because what you're saying is, like, people just care about that wedding night, but that's about the wedding.
No, but I'm going to segue.
Okay. I'll let you.
I'll restart. Fine. Coming from the background that I do, with immigrant parents, immigrant friends, their parents being immigrants, I've seen that marriage has almost been forced upon the generation of our parents, I believe. Because of, the different cultural standards and the different... I know that my parents fell in love, which is not common for parents of Bengali kids. Like, most Bengali parents come together through arranged marriages.
I, too, come from an immigrant, background. Both my parents are immigrants. I'm Hispanic. So I guess it's different because your cultural view of it is different than mine, because at least from my family, I don't think there's been any arranged marriages, at least until from far, far back. So it's different because for my family, everyone has married for love. And I think at least a lot of Hispanics have, from what I have seen. Obviously, there's different cases and things like that. But for the general part, I haven't seen that many arranged marriages. And I think that it's different for us because we're very passionate. We're very, in general, we're just very, romantics.
Big lovers.
That. Yes, we're big lovers. We love to love. And we love to declare our love for the people that we love. So, it's kind of part of that. And I don't know, I think marriage, if you're with the right person and if you think it's the right time. Because I think that a lot of the times what happens is... I think a lot of the times with that big divorce number, that big divorce rate, is that people are getting married in the times that they shouldn't and with the person that they shouldn't. I don't know if that makes sense, because marriage can be a very tricky thing. Even I'm scared of it. I do appreciate marriage. I think that, I want to get married, but I'm even scared of it because I'm like, what if I marry the wrong person and then I end up getting divorced? I don't want that to happen. And then I'm 40, 50 something and I'm divorced and I have to go and date again. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not something that I would personally want. So it is something that's scary, and you even think about it, is it even worth it? But to me, I think that it is. I just really truly think, and this may seem like a fantasy of your soulmate, your perfect person. I don't really think I believe in there's a perfect person, because nobody is perfect. But I think that if you find someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with, I don't think that marriage should be bashed for. And I think that we should all respect people's choices. If you don't want to get married, don't get married. You don't have to do that. If you want to get married, go do it. Experience it. Live your life. Do what you want. But to me, marriage doesn't have to be something that's oh, you're married, you're so traditional, you're so old school. No, I think that marriage is just a reflection of our love for people and our love for love in general. We live in a world that I think it is built for pairs. We have our mom, we have our dad, we have our siblings, we have everything. To me, that's kind of what I have seen and what I have grown in.
I can't lie. I think you took the cake with this one. I think you've convinced me that marriage is not outdated. So shout out Giselle. That was a really compelling argument.
Thank you.
Yeah, and with that, it's a wrap. Thank you guys for listening. Comment down who won each debate. I think we know Giselle won the last one.
Let's
So,
hope.
Thank you, and we'll see you guys next time on Muse Talks. Bye.
Bye.